Frequently when I'm streaming, I get the same questions asked by new players over and over. And I don't mind the questions. I love to help out new players, but I thought I'd put together a series of videos to make that easier. So in this particular video, we're going to talk about things related to the pledge store. How do you pledge, what a package is, what a standalone ship is, what an upgrade is, what melting means, what a CCU means, and what buyback means. Because these are all terms that you're going to see tossed around a lot in global chat, on the discussion forums, on Reddit, and various other places. So let's start with pledges. When you first became interested in the game, or if you are currently interested in the game, in order to play it, you need to pledge to support the, the development package. We call that a pledge. So you go to the pledge store, and it loads up, and it gives you the defaults to game packages. So I want to talk about what a game package is before we go too much further. A game package includes a ship, and supporting the project and getting think of it as a ticket to play the game. That's what I want you to think of it as a ticket. So we'll go view all game packages. You're going to find that this screen changes from time to time throughout the year as the promotions change. Frequently I get asked, what game package should I start with? Because there's a lot of options here. And my answer is always the same. What do you like to do? If you want to do package delivery missions to make money to get started in there, maybe a lot of very light cargo hauling, maybe a lot of exploration, things like that, I would recommend the Aurora MR. If you're more into the dogfighting and you're not so much interested in doing any kind of cargo hauling right away, or um, you package delivery, go with the Mustang Alpha. Now the big difference here just on the package missions is that the Aurora has a side door and steps. So you pick up your package from pickup point A, you open the door, you walk in carrying the package, set it on the seat on the floor behind you, crawl in the seat and fly away. With the Mustang Alpha, you have to throw it into the cockpit. Hope you can get it in there, because it's just a cockpit. So package delivery missions so much easier on the Aurora MR. One of the reasons why I most often recommend it to new players. And that's players who just want to start with the bare minimum, $45. Okay? Both of these start at 45. If you've played the game previously and you already know that you want to play it and you're going to stick around and play it, and hey, this is going to be something that I'm going to play for years and years and years to come. So it's more of a dedication thing and less of a trial thing. What I would recommend is that you give serious consideration to either the Avenger Titan or the Pisces. And here's the reasons why. Your Titan, in addition to having a bed, much like the Aurora MR does, allowing you to do bed logouts. Another reason why I push the MR over the Mustang, the Aurora has a bed, the Titan does not, or the Mustang does not. So the Avenger Titan has a bed in it that you can bed log out, meaning you're in the middle of gameplay. Say, assume you're in a situation you need to stop play and come back in without flying to a space station, then docking your ship and all that. You could fly out somewhere where you're by yourself, shut down the ship in a safe environment, a relatively safe environment, turn around, crawl into the bed, and log out. What that means is when you log back in, you should be in your ship, just like you were when you left off. So that's more of a bed logout situation. The Aurora MR has a crawl-in bunk that you can log out in. Your Avenger Titan has a lay-down bed that you can do that in. In addition, the Titan has more cargo space. So if we bring up the Avenger Titan here, and we look at the specs on it, you're going to find that it has more cargo. It's got more room inside. In addition, it has a better weapons loadout than the Aurora MR does. So you got size 2s and a size 3 on it. Gives you more room, and there's a ramp in the back. There's a ramp here that lets you easily load and unload packages. You notice what I said about a game package. Think of it having a ticket. This is your ticket to get into the verse. Your digital download. You're going to find your game packages have that, whereas your standalone ships do not. So some of the other mentions that I give people wanting to start is the Pisces. The Pisces also has a ramp in the back. It's small, it's light, it's fast, it's great for package delivery missions. It holds 4 SCU of cargo, half that of the Titan has, and twice that of the Aurora MR. In addition to having just the one fighter seat at the front, it's also got 2 jump seats on the back. So, if you got other buddies, you need to carry them around, you're going to pick up somebody and escort them somewhere, do a personal transport, this is a good personal transport ship. Plenty of room to do your things. In addition, there are other starter packages. This is more of a dogfighting thing again. Single seat cockpit, no ramp, no cargo. Your Cuddy Black has 2 seats in the cockpit, a turret, plenty of room to do starter cargo missions, and a ramp on the back side. I'm not going to go into detail over all of these ships. These are all viable choices, but this is my most frequently recommended to someone who's new to the verse and just getting started and wants to get the bare minimum to get going. Let's assume that you're in the verse and you have the Aurora MR and you decide, hey, I would really like to upgrade that. Man, I wish I'd got that Titan 2 months ago when I first started playing. Well, you can. You can do that. Log into your account right over here. Go into your hangar. And when your hangar loads up, you're going to see your list of ships and flare and things like that that you have in the verse. So you're going to click Ship Upgrades right here. When you do, it's going to run the upgrade wizard. It will show you the ships you have on the left, and then once you pick one to upgrade or do a cross chassis upgrade, a CCU, it will give you options to upgrade that ship from. So we'll just assume, for purpose of this discussion, that I have an Aurora MR. There's the Aurora, so the ship that I have on the left, and I wanted to get that Mustang. Man, I really wish I'd have gotten that Titan. Here you go, there's the Titan. So in your case, you would ignore this because you do. I do not, so it's just warning me. This lets you purchase a CCU, or a cross chassis upgrade. You buy it, you click it, you add it to the cart, you cash out. When you're all done, you apply that CCU to the Aurora. The Aurora, poof, now just morphed into an Avenger Titan. That's how a CCU works. Okay. Now let's talk about melting. Melting. What does melting mean? Melting means that you sell the ship back to the pledge store and get store credit. That's how I want you to think of melting. So you hit the little exchange button here. You melt the Caterpillar, like in this case, a standalone Caterpillar from ILW 2950, and it goes poof, goes bye-bye. And it gives me 295 in store credit that I could use to buy back something else. That's how melting works. Let's talk about buybacks. We scroll up, buybacks. Now, every quarter we get 1 buyback token. What a buyback token means is that's one opportunity every 3 months to buy back a ship that you previously owned and melted. And you might be thinking, well, no big deal, I can just go to the web store and buy back a ship. Not necessarily. Some of these things may not be available, like this Emerald. The Kruger Archimedes Emerald. That is no longer available in the web store. If you comb the web store, you won't find it anymore. Can't get it. I have it in my buybacks. So that's what that means. If someone says, well, I have a blah, blah, blah in my buyback, that means that they had it, they melted it for store credit, and got something else. So I have one opportunity to buy back this using store credit. The buyback token only comes into play when you're using store credit. If I wanted to plop down cash, more cash to the project, I could use this and I would still have my buyback token available for something else. So if I decided I wanted to buy back this Aurora, I could. Now, honestly, let's be real about it. Do I need to use a buyback for the Aurora? No, because it's in the web store. So it doesn't really apply too well to stuff like that. But like I said, to the emeralds, they're no longer available. Great way to do it. That's how melting works. That's how buyback works. Let's take a moment and talk about Concierge, because you're going to hear that mentioned. Or you may hear it called as the top hat monocle. The reason why they're called the top hat and monocles, one of the perks of being a concierge, is that you get in-game flair of a top hat and a monocle. So sometimes just people running around with a top hat and monocle. That means they're concierge. That means they have donated 1,000 or more to the project. That's one of the perks. Special pistols are one of the perks. Access to special packages in the web store. I'm not going to go into all of that right now. Chat groups, discussion forums. Concierge also get early access to the PTU, the public test universe. So, the PTU, like right now, the point I'm making this video, 3.10 is in the PTU, meaning only those pledge members who are subscribers or who are concierge have access to it. It's in wave 1. So first it's Evocati, which are special invite only. Then it's concierge and subscribers for wave 1, and wave 2 is general public. So that's what concierge means. So that's buyback, melting, CCU. Let's talk about a standalone ship for just a minute. Let's say that in addition to my Aurora, I wanted to purchase another ship. Say I decide I want to keep the Aurora, but I also want to get a Hornet. So you know what? Really like my Aurora, but there are times I want to dogfight and get something a little bigger, a little better at dogfighting, but I still want to keep my Aurora. This is where a standalone ship comes in really handy. You find the one you want, and you see that this comes with just the ship. Comes with the hangar, of course, and 6 months of insurance. So, to buy just the ship with its 6 months of insurance would be 110. Okay? If I wanted to buy a game package that also had the game, remember what I said about the ticket, that would be 125. If I wanted to upgrade the Aurora, it gives me a quick link to do so here. Now, I also want to mention the insurance, because people ask about that too. So we'll go ahead and talk about that. Right now, every ship in the game has insurance. The timer hasn't started running down for the insurance right now. The 6 month, 3 month, 1 year, 60 month, lifetime, whatever. None of that has started running down. The timer hasn't started for that stuff yet. But when the game does, when the game goes into public release, is no longer in alpha, and it becomes a full release, the insurance is going to go active. What that means is if the game went active we'll just say January 1st of 2021, the game goes active. Poof. Star Citizen comes out, version 1.0 comes out, people are buying it in the stores or in Steam or wherever they're buying it. Everybody who has the Hornet with 6 months in insurance now has 6 months of insurance. When that policy terminates, they'll have to purchase an extension. They'll have to buy another policy, much like you do with your car or your boat or your motorcycle or your RV or your home. So same deal. That's what that means. Right now, doesn't really matter. You're going to hear somebody say LTI, and you're like, well, what the heck does LTI mean? What LTI means, lifetime insurance. There are certain ships or packages in the game which have LTI. I'm going to give you an example of this. The Scoundrel package. Got the Scoundrel package. It has the Caterpillar, the Crusader, all these other ships have been upgraded to, and you'll see right here, it has the Star Citizen download, my ticket to play the game. It has a ticket to play Squadron 42 once that finally gets released. All of the ships in that package have LTI, or lifetime insurance. And another perk of the Scoundrel package is that I get 20,000 AUC to start the game. So that means every wipe, or when the game goes public and they erase everybody's accounts and we start over like brand new, I'll start with 20,000 instead of 5. So that's what LTI means. I hope you found this helpful and informative. I invite you to watch my previous videos on Twitch or jump in and watch a live stream when it happens. If you see me in the verse, reach out. I'll be happy to say hello or answer any questions.